Let me just go ahead and put the link on Twitter as well, so everyone's on the same page when it comes there. So everyone can go in and answer that as well. You guys able to see the poll as well, so please go ahead and vote for that. Do that part. You guys should be getting a link and everybody should be joining in pretty soon. So, all good for now. Let me just go ahead and find this stuff here. It's a pretty dead day, getting too much of market stuff. We are going to be opening up in the green, so that is one good news. Nothing other than that at this moment. Let me see. If you guys can go ahead, let me know if you can hear me. Mm, it should be working anyway, so no problem on that front. Yep. So let's go ahead. Let's just see what's happening with the market. 131 points up on the Nasdaq. So futures is in the green. We most likely should be opening somewhere around 22,650 on the Nasdaq. So that's about 0.58% gain for the Nasdaq. The Dow is up about 432 points. So that's going to be fun as well. I've put the links up on Instagram and Twitter, so eventually people will turn up from there as well. Okay, let me just put. Okay, we got Twitter as well. Done. Okay, let's get to the market. So 22,650 for the Nasdaq, 129 points up. The Dow, let's see what it opens at. At the moment, let me go see what the S&P futures are at. S&P is up about 21 points, so that's about 0.35%. Are you able to see the? Are you able to see the poll? Are you able to see the poll on the view? You can, right? Okay, cool. It's not showing up for me. That's why. Okay. What else do we have going on? Volatility index up 5%. I don't know why it's up 5%. I don't really know what volatility is going on at this moment, but it's a green day again, so market should head higher. We have had about 4.9% up on the volatility index. So that's fascinating to see. On the weekend, we did have some news that came in, right? The basically Trump called off the Canadian talks because he wasn't getting the digital service tax removed by the Canadians. So that didn't work out that well for them. But all said and done, the talks are back on the table. Trump is back. They've removed the digital services tax. So talks are resumed. That's what we got to know from Mark Carney, Canadian Prime Minister. So markets head 22,652. We said this on the previous live as well. For everyone that joins in right now, we've been doing this for about close to 45 to 50 lives now. So make sure you guys subscribe as well as like go and come into the lives and ask us a few questions if you have any about stocks. We've been saying this before that all of this tariff nonsense is crap. Don't worry, none of that's going to stick. Every Friday we have some new tariff coming in by Trump, and by Monday we have it removed. So don't waste your time worrying about all of this other crap that's going on related to tariffs. You have more important things to worry about, especially. Right? We got lemon tie Joe. I have no clue what you're saying, bro, but whatever it is, I'm down for whatever it is. So it's cool. Anyways, let's get to the other stuff. Volatility index is up. You are seeing some of the stocks, right? Disney is up about 2%. That's been doing pretty well because they got upgraded by Jeffries. So that stock's been up about 1.8%. You have a new other from uh, stocks that are currently up. Am I from India? I'm in Bali, bro, at the moment. I'm in the same place for the language that you're speaking in. So I'm in Indonesia at the moment. That is true, but I will be back to India in a bit. So yeah, that's that. Okay, let me get on with this. Crypto has been falling. We're down about 700 points on Bitcoin. We're down about 36.37 points on Ethereum. Everything else is like dead. So it's about 1% down. That's the reason I started the live a bit late today because it's a pretty normal day. I don't want to waste time talking about stuff that's not happening. So At the moment, markets are that way. Are we getting any news today? We are getting Chicago PMI index. So we're getting the purchasing manufacturing managers index, which is basically going to be telling us how is the manufacturing stuff going on right now in America. We're expecting 42.7. The previous month was 40.5. Let's see if the markets take it higher and we're able to eventually get a good number on that. If we do, markets should head higher. Again, we're at all-time highs. Remember, all-time highs are not a ceiling; they keep going up. Do I see a pullback coming in some stage? Yes, I do see a pullback coming in at some stage. We can't keep rallying every day a percent, percent and a half. Some stage we will slow down, but not today. So yes, let's go on. Let's see some of the news that's currently going on. Let me just see what the commodities are doing. Remember, oil is what we were always talking about, right? For all these weeks, when during the Iran-Israel war and everything else going on, everyone was like, "Oh, oil's up 10%, oil's up 5%," and I think we called it at that moment, saying it's very likely that oil will collapse and equity markets will rally. That is exactly what happened. It is looking like oil is flat at 64. Remember, exactly a week and a half back, it was trading at 75. Exactly a week and a half back, the markets were not making all-time highs. Today, the markets are making all-time highs, and they've been making all-time highs for the past 4 trading sessions. So, sorry to break the news, but it's a bull market for everyone that does not still believe in it. So, go ahead and buy your stocks; they will go high. Okay, the dollar index is up about 0.02%. That's the only thing that's not currently doing pretty well. So, that's a story for another day, because the lower the dollar index keeps going, the worse it will get eventually, because you're not going to get that much amount of people coming in and buying in the US dollars, because most of these foreign governments are selling their US holdings in order to maintain parity. You saw that happen with Hong Kong as well. Hong Kong's been buying its own currency because it needs to maintain the 1:1 parity against the US dollar. So that's been happening for quite a bit of time. Anyways, let me just get on. Let's say Sean says, you think more people have already invested or more cash will be poured in? Like, in terms of, are people still sitting on the sidelines? Yes, people are sitting on the sidelines because about a $7 trillion worth of cash has been sitting idle. That money has not yet been poured in. I'm guessing they're waiting for a pullback to come in order to pour that money in, but till now, that money has not come. Now, even though that money has not come in, markets have hit an all-time high, and this is what happens. Bull markets usually climb a wall of worry. We have enough wall of worries right now. You have the Middle East tensions that have simmered down, but it's not like it's gone completely. That is one. Two, you don't have a scenario where, yes, the tax bill has been passed, but the debt is still a problem and rising. They're expecting it to increase by $3.3 trillion of debt, right? Second. Third, remember one thing, I think everybody's forgotten this. Please remember, in exactly 9 days from now, and exactly a month and 9 days from now, again, you're going to be getting the July 9th tariff deadline. One. Other than the UK and the US, you have not heard of any tariff deals. None whatsoever. India is closed, Japan is closed, Vietnam is closed. Nothing signed, nothing's out there. Remember, we're not making deals right now, we're making deals to make deals. Okay? We're meeting in order to decide when can we meet next. This is the current scenario with the tariffs. So please don't expect any big, huge tariff deal to happen. This is just in order to see whether things work. Trump, over the weekend on Sunday, he also told Fox Business that, hey, I'm not going to extend the 90-day deadline, and maybe I might. So my bet is still on the fact that he will extend the tariff deadline. Most likely, I think with India, with Japan, with Australia, with even the EU, he'll come up with some framework in order to do a deal. He'll pass that. Other than that, I don't really think there is anything else in terms of the other. If you remove the big economies aside, a lot of them, it's not really that much of uh, tariff nonsense to worry about. The Chinese have a deadline till August 9th, so there's still time for them. Pretty much their deal is also done and dusted. Remember, the Chinese and the Americans have been saying this before also. Well, we've been saying it that it's the easiest deal to make is between the Americans and the Chinese. The only reason it's the easiest deal to make is because there are only two people deciding everything: Trump on the American side and President Xi on the Chinese side. If President Xi caves in and says, okay, let's do it this way, or he says, let's do it this way, it's done and dusted, it's over. Now, when you're dealing with the EU, when you're dealing with India, when you're dealing with Japan, there's a lot of stuff that has to go through because all of these trade deals need to pass the parliament. They need to get the prime minister's desk. They need to go to the president's desk. It needs to be signed. Everybody has to agree to it, and then they can say that okay, the deal is passed. So democracy sometimes can take time, right? So that's the scene with. But a lot of people have forgotten the tariff issues. I have, for one, have not forgotten that because I'm still at this stage looking at what can go wrong rather than what has gone right and what will go right. Do I see anything going wrong at the moment? No. Do I see, I mean, do I feel that things can go wrong? Or absolutely things can go wrong, right? But what's my probability that the markets will head lower? Not much. Do we see a 3-4% drawdown or a 5% drawdown? That's normal, right? Like I've been saying, if you can't stomach a 5% drawdown, you're in the wrong business. Don't go in and start trading or investing. It's not your place to be. While at the same time, I also do believe that maybe every 5% drop is going to be a buy the dip opportunity. Stocks are going to get bought out by these guys. The 7 trillion that I've been telling you about, a lot of that money is going to start coming back. Remember, America is underperforming other global markets at this moment. You are not seeing America let's say, overextending its rally. It has just gone into all-time highs, and it's just about 4 or 5% up for the year. Other countries' currencies have literally strengthened against the US dollar one, and their stock markets are up closer to 10 to 15% for the year. Look at something like the South Korean index, right? The Kospi that used to trade somewhere in 2025, beginning of 2025 at about 2,400 is currently trading at 3,000. That's a bloody index, right? So that's up about a good almost 600 points since January. So you're looking at about 30% of a rise in 6 months for the Kospi, right? So a lot of these emerging markets as well as some developed markets have done better. Look at the DAX, the German index. Again, it's been on a rally. You look at it from January. In January, it was at about 19,764. Today, it's at 23,000, right? If you want to go and check how much that is, you're looking at about a 21% return. The S&P, the Nasdaq, all of these are up 4-5% for the year, while these other indexes are up about 20%. So there's a lot of catching up to do for America. What I do believe is that these economies in the second half of the year or their stock markets will stop heading higher, and the American stock market will recover the difference between what has been the rally in global markets and American markets. So if global markets are up about 20% and America is up 5, they're going to hold maybe towards a 15 to a 25, and America will pick up towards a 20. So you might end up at a year where America underperforms global markets, but the second half America might outperform. So that's why you'll make a lot more money, right? So I do still believe that the best place to be is in the American stock market and in American tech at this moment, right? Things can change overnight. Who knows, right? That's why we do the live every day, or pretty much all Mondays too. Friday. So for everyone new, just go ahead, subscribe. We do a live about 45 minutes to an hour before the market opens, and then about 30 minutes into market opening. So that is currently what is going on. Okay, let me just go ahead. We have about 10 minutes for the market to open. Just want to see what's happening with the Nasdaq. Have we given up something or we're flat? So we're up at about 142 points on the Nasdaq. So 0.63% on the Nasdaq at the moment. And it is looking like most of these stocks are going to go up. Reddit's going to go up about 3%. So that's heading higher. A firm is up about 1.81. Trade Desk is up about 1.89. Disney is up about close to 1.86. But that's because Jeffries came and gave an upgrade, right? So let's go ahead and see some of the news. We get Chicago PMI coming out at 9:45, but nothing other than that at this moment. Let me get Sean's question. Is that a reason why the markets are at an all-time high? I mean, if there's more catching up for America to do, then we would have more higher highs, right? Best time to invest now. I would agree with that. That's what I'm trying to say. That my bet is that global markets will not falter, they will not fall, but they might consolidate at these levels of 18 to 22, 23% higher. They're already up about 20, right? 2021. So they can play around in those levels. While on the other hand, the American stock market's having a lot of catching up to do, can head higher, and that's where the money is, right? Eventually, you can make a lot more. It's not the question of which horse is further ahead in the race. The question is which horse is now going to pick up. That's where you make the money. So at the moment, my belief is American stock markets, big tech is the place to be. Look at Nvidia, look at AMD, look at all these other companies that we keep talking about every day. This is exactly what bull markets are. This is exactly how things work. Understand it, see for yourself. You will realize once you join our life for more than 5, 7 sessions, you'll realize that there's a lot more to learn here. And we don't ask for anything in return. So we don't sell courses and we intend to never sell courses. That's a scam. I might as well just talk to you guys live and just answer all of your questions. So you don't waste time trying to see how to make money, how not to make money through courses. Anyways, so let me see. Google makes first foray into fusion with MIT. Okay, not interested. That's not our circle. Okay, what else do we have? We have about 7 to 8 minutes for market to open, so that will be fun. We will be opening again at an all-time high, 22,666 at the moment. So it does look like we're going to be heading higher. The bond yields are down 4.257, so that's not had that much of a huge move. It's not really picking up that well. Let me go ahead. Let me see if we have something interesting to talk about. Some of the stuff that came out over the weekend of Trump's speech with Fox is, I mean, like whatever interview with Fox, they had some things which were important. So I'll go over that before the market opens. But there is, what I have actually come to realize is that there is no definite plan to anything in the administration. What is going to happen here is everything is going to be, if I can turn a switch here, will it work in my favor? And if it does, then I will continue turning. So just like the thing that happened with Canada, right? They said, okay, you cannot put a digital service tax. Canada would have said, no, we need to put a 3% digital service tax. And that's what the tax was. So for all these Instagram and all the other companies, metas of the world, they were going to charge you about 3%. Trump came out and said that, no, that's against my American companies doing business in your country because we're not charging you a digital service tax. Please do remember that Europe also does have some form of a digital tax, right? And they've been finding the living daylights out of all these companies. So I don't know how that's going to work out with the EU, but when it comes to Canada, then eventually he said, okay, you know what? If that's the case, I'm not going to talk to you guys anymore about your trade talks, and I'm going to set a rate for you. Now, do remember that Canada needs to pretty much give in to America because at the end of the day, they're close by, they're the biggest trading partners, and America has the leverage, and Trump is using that leverage. So over the weekend, while Monday before the markets opened, I think during futures, once futures opened after a few hours itself, we got news that Canada has now shelved its plan for the Digital Markets Act. Because of that, you're now seeing stocks higher, Canadian stocks also are moving higher, while at the same time you're seeing that now trade talks have resumed. So the story that I'm coming to is that stop buying news headlines that you see. No one knows what's going to happen, including the White House or the guys in Canada or the guys in Iran or the guys in Israel. Everybody is just reacting to whatever is happening in real time as you get your information. So there is no grand scheme and grand plan that is going on. It is all an art of negotiation and the art of a deal, whatever it is. That is exactly what's happening. There is no grand scheming here about eventually there is this one plan that's going to work out and all. No. We're all just going by the flow of it, including the administration. Right? So Palantir is up about 5-6%. They apparently partnered with Accenture. They were down, obviously. They were down about 9% on Friday. So today they're up about 5%, but that is because Palantir has teamed up with Accenture. Accenture Federal as a Palantir preferred implementation partner for U.S. federal government customers. So that's currently the stuff that's going on. Anyway, so they're going to work together, merge in whatever they're trying to do with their work. So that's currently going to be happening. Let's go ahead. Let's see some of the other stuff that's going. Okay. Oracle CEO just said that Oracle is off to a strong start in FY26. Their multi-cloud database revenue continues to grow at over 100% and has signed multiple large cloud services agreements. So basically, they're saying that the AI story is still intact for them, and they're doing pretty well when it comes to that, which is good. All right, I wasn't expecting AI story to anyways die out. It's going to do well. It's how the game is, and in a bull market, this is what's going to happen. They're eventually going to do better. Okay, we got about a few minutes for the market to open. Let me see. Sean says, if you had to put the current market psychology in perspective, what would you say about it? I still think we are just about getting into optimism. We have gotten out of fear of the trade talks and everything else around it. We are just slowly entering some form of optimism where we're beginning to believe that the productivity that AI will bring us, that the productivity that all of these tariff money or debt problems or the extension of the corporate tax rates being reduced will eventually lead to better outcomes. I do believe that that is the plan at this moment of the administration. The only thing that's pending for them to do is once this bill gets cleared is a lot of deregulation work, which is still pending to be done, which is always a bullish scenario. So when that happens, you're always going to be seeing markets going higher because of that. That being said, do we have more tariff shocks in place? That's the only thing that I feel can derail the economy. All right. But yeah, we'll see. We'll enjoy this while it lasts. Okay, what do we have? We have hims and hers, which had fallen all the way to $40 from 72 because Novo Nordisk decided to tell them to shove it. But as of now, it was up about 6.76% on Friday. It's up about 3.12 again today. So it's up at $50. Remember, it's fallen from 72. So it's not like it's fallen from nowhere. It's fallen from everywhere. It had everything that it could lose is what happened with the Novo Nordisk deal. Remember, these guys partnered exactly a month back. So it's not like this shit's been going on quite a while. Anyways, Canada imposes new tariff rate quotas on imported steel products from non-free trade agreement partners. Canada sets steel quotas at 2.6 million with 50% surtax on imports above 2024 levels. Canadian government says prepared to take additional steps pending developments with US tariffs. So basically, it's a tit for tat game. Okay. Anyways, Japan's prime minister reportedly weighs up President Trump's suggestion that Japan buys US oil. So they're going to cave. They're going to buy more US oil. Again, all you got to do is you don't have to start buying it tomorrow, right? You just have to say, okay, I'll do it. You get your trade deal done, you move on in life. This guy's going to be there for another 3.5 years. Life moves on, carry on, right? Stock markets will be there longer than this guy can stay in power. So just the way it works. Mm, let's see. Trying to find if I can see some of the. Tom Lee has been appointed as the chairman of the board of directors of a small Bitcoin miner called Bitmine and reportedly aiming to become the biggest publicly traded holder of Ethereum. Okay. Apple is supposed to be launching a budget MacBook Pro next year. Sean says Novo Nordisk has more room to grow. I honestly have not studied it that well, so I don't want to give you a answer about it. But if I had a gun to my head and had to choose one between Novo as well as Eli Lilly, I would choose Eli Lilly just because of the scope of products that they have, the amount of products that they currently have in production, as well as the way their weight loss drugs have been doing. So it's just been working phenomenally for them. That being said, Novo Nordisk has better price performance because obviously it's trading at 68. It used to trade at 148, but I'm not part of this scam that go out and look for turnarounds at all points of time. Sometimes it's better to just buy top quality stuff. And Eli Lilly, for that matter of fact, is the best out there. So stick to that, right? I think I said it on my live previously as well that Eli Lilly is something that I would look at for sure if prices seem a little bit better, right? Anyways, so we do this live pretty much every day, and the market is just opened. So 22,636, you're looking at 118, 120 points. So we've opened pretty much where futures were. We're off the highs about 50 points, but that's nothing. You might eventually see that being taken out anyways. Nike was up about 15% on Friday. It's down about 1% for now. Disney's up about 2. Celsius is up about 1. Coupang is down about 0.78. Few of the other stocks, if you look at Trade Desk, it's up about 2.65. Reddit up about 4. Lemonade up about 4. And Affirm up about 2%. Affirm is up purely because it's had some, I think one of the analysts went in and upgraded the stock. So that's been doing well as well. What do we have on the Dow, the Nasdaq? The Dow is up about 200, so about 0.5%, as much as the Nasdaq. Do remember, everyone could be saying that okay, we're into an all-time high territory. The Dow is the only index at this moment that has not hit an all-time high. So always remember, in order to see large amounts of strength, large amounts of money flowing back into stocks, you need to see all the indexes hit all-time highs. When you see all of them hit all-time highs, it's usually confirmed as a bear market. At the moment, we have a tech bear market and an S&P 500 bull market and a Nasdaq bull market. If we're able to see this grow, we're able to see 45,000 being taken out on the Dow. You will start seeing a lot more money coming into this market because a lot of people still look at the Dow Jones as an index to decide as a barometer of what they do, even though the S&P 500 is a better measure, but to each his own. Right. You see, I think about Reddit had hit a high of about 150, 153.94 on Wednesday last week. It's at about 148, 149. So let's see if that breaks out today. If that's able to take that level out, that would be a good move as well. Okay, so let's see some form of a move here. Chime is an IPO that I was been looking at this moment. It's down about 1.5%. So not doing too well. Coupang down about 1.2%. Again, it's rallied all the way up, so it's done pretty well. Nike, I think after its 15% move, has decided to take a break for now. So, anyways, for now, the markets look okay. Nothing really too much to sit and analyze here. Up about 90 points on the Nasdaq. So we're off the lows by about close to 100 points, off the highs at least. 22,693 was the high. We're at 22,600, 64607. So, anyways, it is good that we have a pullback. Not even if we have a time-based pullback, which means we don't go back to making new highs every day. Slowly we hold here about 2-3% lower or within the same ranges of like 2-3%. That'll build impetus to eventually break out higher. Right. That's how these things work. So always better to play this game in a longer term perspective. I've been saying this since day one of episode 1. I think we're at episode 45, 47, whatever we are at. It is always better to play a very long game. You will win in that. Your odds are against you if you're playing short term. So don't fall for the astrology of head and shoulder patterns and all of that stuff. Doesn't work. Okay, I just need to see Disney stock got upgraded by Jeffries for 4 primary reasons. Okay, let's go see what else is going on in the world. I don't know what this new New York City mayor has been saying. I heard something about him saying there shouldn't be billionaires. I don't know what that even means. But yeah, anyways. Apple is reportedly planning to launch a low-cost MacBook powered by an iPhone chip. So let's see how that works. Okay, MicroStrategy went out and purchased more Bitcoin. I don't even know where they keep getting this money from. I know they're raising it, but like some of this just looks a little too scary at some point of time. Because I think we're 10 minutes out from getting the PMI. It's not that important, but it is just another measure of that I look at because for the past few releases, the PMI has been worse than forecasted. So let's go see. I mean, all said and done, even if we get 42.7, it's a bad number, right? In February and March, we were in the 45, 47. So we might as well get something better than that. That will just help us know that, okay, there is more in this economy. It's not cracking. Things can improve. At least that's the way it would look to me. Okay, what do we have? So Nike's at days low at about 1.65. Chime is down about 1%, and Coupang is down about 1.56%. Disney is at about 124.26. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Trade desk is up about 3.27%. So that's been picking up. It's trying to get out of this falling formation or whatever it's been having since quite a while now. All the way from 80, it went down to like 65, now trading at 71. I think if it can break out of 73, 74, we can then head way higher. Okay, let's go back to seeing some of that news. Let's see what else is going on. This is something that I actually get a bit scared about because one thing that I've started seeing is that there is in the data that's there is there's been a lot of call buying that's happening because people are thinking that they're going to miss out on stocks. That is never a good sign if you're seeing a rally based on FOMO driven call buying, right? So a lot of people have missed out. Like I was answering Sean also there that a lot of people have missed out and they're just putting whatever money to work as soon as they can. Never a good sign when they're just going out and buying calls thinking every day is going to be higher. Some days it will not, and that'll be tough. Anyways, Meta apparently has opened at an all-time high. So let's go check that out. 741. Okay, that is an all-time high. It dropped all the way from 737, 740 down to 482, and then 482 is back to about 747. So it's had quite a big move. Yeah, so Reddit's hit about 150. It's up about 5%. Let's see how that goes. It'll be interesting to see these moves play out. Mm, yeah, about 7 minutes to go for the PMI. So I'm just going to go over some of the news that's currently going on. Let's see how that's working out. Yeah, let me go see if I can find the Trump things that happened with. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's better to let you guys know what's exactly happening with the Trump story there. Trying to see if any of these upgrades today matter. Hmm. Howard Lutnick says he thanks Canada for removing digital service tax. Okay. Hmm. Sean says a firm will hit 100 this year. Maybe, bro. I don't know whether it'll hit 100, but I think 5 years from now it could be a lot higher. It could do pretty well. Maybe it could go all the way to 150. Who knows? In bull markets, things can get crazy. Just remember that. You can see 100, 200% in 6 months, 9 months, quite possible, right? We're going to be here every day at the same time. So go ahead and subscribe to our channel, and then you guys can join in for our live sessions every time. Go ahead and ask me whatever questions you want to ask about the market, stock specific, anything. That's okay. I will answer whatever I can. If I don't know anything, I will let you know that I can't answer, and I don't know anything. So Meta hit an all-time high. We got that. I want to see what's happening on the 10-year. Yeah, the 10-year is down to 0.33. So one of the companies I was looking at was a company called as a Rocket Company. Basically, they're one of the guys that do a lot of mortgage lending. They're also buying a company called Redfin and Mr. Cooper. So they're buying it for like billions of dollars. Now, the biggest beneficiary for them will be when the 10-year bond yield goes down and the mortgage rates go lower. A lot of people would refinance their homes and their mortgages to a lower rate. And in that mortgage refinancing boom, Rocket Company could do pretty well. Anyways, it's at 14. It used to trade at about 243 at some time, but maybe in reality, maybe like 28 or something around those levels. Anyways, SOFA is up another 4%, so that's hitting 18. So this is like a proper bull market. You're just seeing momentum buying happening left, right, and center. This is how bull markets are. Momentum stocks basically just fly through the roof. Okay, let's go. Let's see some more stuff. Let's see what else is going on. OpenAI is giving its employees a break this week to recharge. But the timing comes as Meta aggressively tries to poach its AI researchers. Wired reports Meta is dangling $100 million signing bonuses, which was OpenAI's leadership on edge. Uh, Chief Research Officer Mark Chen told staff he feels like someone has broken into our home and stolen something. Despite the competition, Chen urged employees to stay focused on the main goal is building AGI, not getting caught up in what he called side quests with Meta. Whoops. Okay, let's see what happens here. Anyway, so one thing that I realized for today is that trade negotiations and economic data are going to be driving market movements. Central banks are deciding on what's going to happen this week. Again, remember that it's a holiday shortened week. 4th of July is on Friday, so we have a holiday on Friday. On Thursday, we're trading only till 1 p.m. till lunch because then we have 4th of July preparations. So 3.5 days of trading. We will be there for all 3.5 days, and then we will resume back over the weekend if something happens, and then maybe back again. We'll be surely maybe on Sunday we'll do one, but otherwise we'll do on Monday for sure whenever the market opens. So that's quite likely. Let me go see if we have something more going on. Uh, Trump administration weighs eliminating funds for hospital offering gender care to minors. Okay. Apparently, there was news between OpenAI and John Ivey joining together. Apparently, the former Apple designer is thinking of a pen as a landmark AI device. Okay, cool. Let's see what happens there. Okay, are we seeing more weakness in stocks? About 88 up on the Nasdaq. 250 was what the Dow was up. It's only up about 163. Starbucks is up about 2%. Nike's down 2.5. Again, remember, it was up about 15% on Friday. So you are seeing some traders getting out. My bet is still going to see Nike head higher. There is a decisive change happening in Nike. It is also near its 200-day moving average, so it will take some amount of buying in order to break that. Do I see that happening soon? Yes, I actually do believe that Nike maybe going down 3%, 4%. It's okay. If it's up 15 and goes down 3, it's fine. But eventually, I do think Nike is going to start heading way higher and moving up. Maybe even to the $100 number in the next year, year and a half. Quite possible. Anyway, some of the stocks have been losing some of it from early trading. So this is just about 13 minutes of trading. We're about a minute and 27 away from earnings. Now, what do we have? Okay, Besant's come out and said we're going to bend the curve, get the debt level down. So, okay. My belief is we are going to be seeing the S&P 500 hit 65, 6600 this year. I actually think we're on track to be going there. Maybe another 10% in the second half of the year is quite possible. Besant says this is the start in controlling U.S. debt. So stocks are up and new all-time highs today. So all we need is Besant to talk. That's it. We don't need anything more to happen. Anyways, guys, let me get this PMI number and then we can all be out of our miseries of trying to figure out the PMI situation and we will be out of here as well. So we got about 30 seconds to go for that. Trying to see if we can get some more data. Weston says he's confident that fiscal policy will progress in coming hours. Okay. So the bill is going to get passed in a few hours. And I mean, some part of it has already been cleared. So next stuff will get cleared. But we've got 10 seconds more for PMI. So let's see. A good number will be welcome. If we can break the 42 and head to 44, 45, I'm not sure if that'll happen. If it does, that's good. Anyways, it should be out anytime now. So I'll let you know as soon as I see it. Mm. Yeah, so it's bad. It's at 40.4, 40.4. So not a good number for the PMI. I don't think it's going to move the market that much, but there's just a few things that are going to get. It's just underlying weakness, right? A lot of people don't look at all of this stuff. I do because for me, I look at all of these things just from a perspective of trying to see if If everyone's not looking at it, I want to look at it. If everyone's looking at something, everyone's looking at the unemployment rate and everything else, and I'm not interested in that, because if everyone's looking at it, you shouldn't be. If everyone's worrying about something in the stock market, you shouldn't be worrying about it. So always worry about something that everybody else is not worrying about. That's how you make money. That's how you do things the crowd doesn't. Okay, we got what, 2.6 down on Nike, Coupang down about 1.72. Everything else looks okay. Let me see. So far, the S&P is on pace for its best quarter since December 2023 amid signs of progress in US trade talks. Yes, that's a good thing. Let's see what happens there. Okay, I'm going to try seeing some of these big boys. So Apple is flat. What else do we have here? AMD is down about 1.4. Broadcom's up about 1.8. Do we have anything else that is moving like crazy? Google's flat as well. Lululemon's flat as well. Okay, Meta's up about 0.7, so that's still hitting an all-time high. The high was 744. So Netflix also 1325 on Netflix. So that is a price on Netflix. I mean, Netflix has been in a bull market of its own like no tomorrow. 1,325. Just to bring it all to notice, it was trading at 163 in 2022. $163 is now hit 1,326. So Palantir up about 4%, Starbucks up about 1.5, Tesla's down 0.63%. So it's set to report second quarter deliveries this week, right? It's expected to fall to around 355,000 vehicles. That's a 20% year over year decline for Tesla. And that's after a 13% drop in the first quarter. So that's that. Let's see. Trade desk up about 4%. So yeah, stock's looking okay. Everything's fine. Let me just go ahead and see. So the market has sold off a bit. We're only up about 67 now. 67, 68 points on the NASDAQ. Again, like I'm saying, expect a pullback. Even if we close in the green, it's a very good day. We don't need 1% days every day. That being said, you do have the volatility index up about 7%. So 6%. So let's see how that goes. Anyways, for everyone that's new here, go ahead, subscribe, like, whatever. I will be going now to finish up a few things, and then we will join again tomorrow. Most likely, I'll do a post market live as well. So if you subscribe, you will get a notification when I go live. Then you can come in and ask your questions there. Okay. Enjoy, guys. Have a good night. Have fun. Enjoy trading. We'll see you once the market closes. Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody joining in. Thanks.